Senator Bernie Sanders is recovering from a heart procedure. We'll give you more information on his campaign status.
Presidential candidate Kamala Harris stopped by LAX to support the workers' union march.
And see what new building music icons Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre have added to USC. We'll take you there.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Senator Bernie Sanders says he's feeling good tonight after undergoing a heart procedure. Good evening, I'm Cecil Hannibal.
And I'm Kellie Miller. Annenberg Media's Morgan Stephen reports on what this means for a campaign stop at USC.
Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders was hospitalized after experiencing chest pains on Tuesday in Las Vegas. The campaign has since canceled all events, including a town hall at USC on Friday. A senior who helped plan the event is disappointed, but wished the senator well in his recovery.
I thought this was a really great opportunity for our students. Part of the political student assembly's mission is putting on events where students get a firsthand feel of politics, so having one of the presidential candidates speak on campus was going to be a great opportunity to do that.
According to a senior advisor, Sanders underwent heart surgery and had a blockage removed and 2 stents put in. In a statement to Annenberg Media, the campaign said, Senator Sanders is conversing and in good spirits. He will be resting up over the next few days. We will be canceling his events and appearances until further notice.
I'm standing in the Grand Trojan Ballroom. This is where Bernie Sanders was scheduled to take questions from students on Friday. The space has also hosted then-candidate Barack Obama in 2010.
Sanders' USC visit was part of a campaign blitz in Southern California that included stops in Riverside, Bakersfield, and Fresno.
Can't blame him. I mean, obviously it's not something that he was rooting for, not something anybody anticipated. It's just really unfortunate.
Fox 11 LA anchor Alex Michelson was scheduled to moderate. Around-the-clock campaigning can be challenging for a candidate of any age, but especially for those over 70. Sanders is 78, making him the oldest candidate in the race. Joe Biden follows shortly behind at age 76. Planners of the town hall at USC said they'll try to reschedule, but will wait until Sanders makes a full recovery. For Annenberg Media, I'm Morgan Stevens.
Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law today giving hundreds of alleged sexual assault victims more time to sue former USC gynecologist Dr. George Tyndall. The new law gives accusers a 1-year window to decide whether to sue. Tyndall was arrested in June and is charged with molesting 16 patients. He denies any wrongdoing.
And hundreds of airport employees, Uber and Lyft drivers marched on LAX today, demanding better working conditions. Presidential candidate and Senator Kamala Harris spoke at the rally.
Everyone needs to understand in America, thank labor for that 5-day work week. Thank labor for that 8-hour work day. Thank labor for that weekend and sick leave and holiday time. Thank organized labor.
The rally was organized in a joint effort by the Mobile Workers Alliance and the Service Employees International Union. They also hoped to show support for a new bill making it more difficult for companies like Uber and Lyft to classify their drivers as independent contractors.
Without a horse, you can't be led. You can't be led. So I think that we are the power behind the rideshare company.
The rally lasted for over 4 hours, stretching from outside LAX all the way inside to Terminal 1. It shut down 2 lanes of traffic but did not disrupt any flight operations. The march comes before the Union for All Summit in downtown Los Angeles this weekend. Presidential candidates like Harris and former Vice President Joe Biden are expected to attend. And presidential candidates are releasing their latest fundraising numbers.
Our political correspondent, Nathan Hyun, has been counting the money.
Count the money.
Thanks, Kelly. So the third quarter fundraising numbers are beginning to come out. First, let's take a look at how much money the Democrats have raised. The Bernie Sanders campaign had the highest gain in the previous quarter, raising $25.3 million, while Pete Buttigieg is not far behind, raising $19.1 million. As for Kamala Harris, well, she has raised $11.6 million. This is great news for Bernie Sanders. It shows how the number of small donors is shaping the Democratic race. For now, Sanders is on top of the Democratic field in terms of fundraising. Kamala Harris raised about as much this quarter as she did last quarter, $11.8 million. On the other hand, President Trump's re-election campaign and the Republican National Convention have raised a whopping $125 million. USC professor Tom Holligan spoke about the impact of campaign contributions for both the Democrats and President Trump.
Campaigns have become increasingly expensive, so if we have a candidate who can't generate contributions, then there's going to be doubt that they can generate votes. I understand that Trump released his numbers and that he tripled what the Democrat numbers released thus far have been, which suggests there's still a tremendous amount of excitement by the Trump base.
With the Democrat debates just 2 weeks away, the two current frontrunners, Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, have yet to release their third quarter numbers. Now back to you, Kelly.
Thanks, Nathan. In 2013, Jimmy Iovine and hip-hop legend Dr. Dre had a vision to create a space where USC students could combine business, tech, and the arts. That building, featuring electronic labs and even an incubator space, opened today.
Millennials, Gen Z, these kids are multidisciplined. They can work in either lane, and they work at the same time. They're brought up like that. And what we've created here is a place that they understand the why. If you're a person that leans to design, if you're a person that leans to computer science, you will understand the why of the other person.
The vision of Iovine and Dr. Dre has helped students interested in two fields.
I come from a very fine arts high school. I did a lot of painting, a lot of figure drawing art in high school, but I wanted to kind of transition more into kind of the business and technology space. And what the Iovine Young Academy was a perfect example of was mixing creating the product and then learning how to also sell it and the business that goes into creating a startup around it.
Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre are hoping to expand their mission beyond USC's campus. They want to build a high school in the surrounding neighborhood to teach young children about technology and the arts.
Thousands of students applying to the UC system may no longer have to worry about the dreaded SAT. According to the UC Office of the President, a university task force is looking into whether this all-important test is fair. In a statement, a UC representative said, quote, "The university is currently waiting for the assessment and recommendations from the Academic Senate's task force before determining whether any steps should be taken on the issue." The College Board says its test is valuable, adding, quote, "Based on data from more than 223,000 students, SAT scores are strongly predictive of college performance. They provide more insight into a student's potential to succeed." About 500,000 students are enrolled in the UC system, so if the SAT requirement is dropped, it could have a ripple effect across the country.
One of the things that we know from how organizations work is that when you get a group of organizations together and the most powerful among them make a change, the rest of them are often likely to follow in order to be more like the powerful ones. UC is obviously one of the most powerful state systems in the country, if not the most powerful, so it would likely have a bandwagon effect.
The University of California expects the task force to present its recommendations by February.
All flavored tobacco products in LA County will be banned. The vote by the Board of Supervisors late yesterday was unanimous. The ban includes menthol cigarettes and e-cigarettes.
Not only the adults, also the children are now using and consuming juices and things that are related to vaping. So I think it's a good step to start ban vaping behavior in LA County.
Vaping has been linked to at least 12 deaths and more than 400 cases of lung disease. The board wants the governor to ban vaping statewide. The ban will go into effect in 30 days. Stores have 180 days to clear their shelves of any flavored tobacco products.
Many Los Angeles residents got a free ride today. The city is trying to drum up interest in public transportation for the second annual Clean Air Day in California. City officials thanked riders here in West Los Angeles for leaving their cars at home. And this couldn't come at a better time with gas prices zooming past $4 a gallon in the last few days.
This is one of those small but important steps today, showing that we can make a significant positive impact on climate change by cutting our carbon footprint and promoting clean air by taking mass transit.
Part of what we're trying to do today is just thank the folks who ride transit every day. They are doing their part, and in some respects, It's everybody else who are freeloaders, right?
Transportation alone accounts for almost 30% of greenhouse gas emissions in the U.S. Los Angeles continues to be the nation's most polluted region, and in the last few years, the smog has gotten worse.
What I'd like to see more of from institutions like USC is incentivizing shared rides, further distances, and more public transit. After all, they are right next to the expo line.
Simply switching to public transportation for your trip to work could lower your annual carbon footprint by thousands of pounds.
See how DPS officers are supporting breast cancer awareness this month.
And see why West Hollywood hopes their new cannabis cafe will help bring tourism to the city.
And Department of Computer Resources, where the detectives can sift through volumes of information very quickly.
And LAPD opens new library to help further your investigation tactics. Coming up next.
Encuentra el bosque más cercano en descubreelbosque.org. El bosque, más cerca de lo que crees.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Every October, the Pink Patch Project is a way for law enforcement officers around the country to support breast cancer awareness. This year, for USC's Department of Public Safety, the cause was personal.
Actually struck close to home about a year ago when one of our DPS dispatchers, one of our emergency operators, the person you'd speak to if you called DPS and dispatched our officers on calls, passed away from breast cancer. So it really hits close to home. So DPS is very much into raising awareness of that horrible disease.
You can expect to see these pink patches on DPS officers around campus for the month of October. Chief John Thomas told Annenberg Media that breast cancer has affected his staff and his own family. Each officer buys the patch and the proceeds go towards breast cancer research. For students interested in supporting this cause, you can buy a pink ribbon or a patch just like this one from the DPS office.
And the nation's first cannabis cafe is now open in West Hollywood. Annenberg Media's Trevor Sochocki explains why you can expect to see more like it very soon.
Lowell Cafe looks like your typical LA restaurant. Line outside, vines covering brick, neon signs. But a step inside reminds you of its full name, Lowell Farms, a cannabis cafe. It opened yesterday, and owners want to remove the stigma surrounding weed.
It's been crazy from, buying your weed from a shady drug dealer at night in a back alley and rolling your weed up and smoking it in the car and it's not so risky anymore.
So what's the difference between this and your local dispensary? Lowell Cafe is the only place you can get cannabis and coffee at your seat. That combination hasn't been done before in the country, and more are coming. The city of West Hollywood approved 15 other cannabis businesses, and a few of those would be similar to Lowell Cafe.
So yes, we're hoping that people seeing that consumption lounges are occurring in the city and the sky isn't falling will prompt other cities to allow consumption lounges.
The plan is to use cannabis as a way to bring in more tourism to West Hollywood's nearly $2 billion industry. They know everyone is watching.
So we hope that because we are going to show that we're the most responsible city of our cannabis companies, that's really what we're out to do. Rather than just be first, we want to be the most responsible in terms of how we look at launching this.
If Lowell Cafe does well, West Hollywood residents and possibly anyone dining out can do what they want, including puff puff and pass. For Annenberg Media, I'm Trevor Sochocki.
Thank you, Trevor.
Kelly, have you seen the movie Clueless?
Of course I have.
I don't know if you know this, but our weather anchor Ari Taylor loves Halloween.
I heard.
And the iconic movie Clueless. Let's toss it over to Ari Taylor with the weather, where you can see her amazing outfit today. Ari?
That's right, Cecil. We are serving all types of as-if looks today. Happy fall, everyone. And y'all know what comes with fall season, cuffing season. So before we get into today's weather, if you're looking for a song to add to your playlist that goes with the current cuffing season vibe, I recommend Senorita by Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. But let's get into today's weather. As I always say, y'all, it's an easy, breezy, and beautiful day with just 76 degrees. Can't get more comfortable than this. But the question is, will tomorrow look just as great? Y'all, we're in California. We know what the answer is. Yes, it absolutely will be 80s all around, just like Oprah said, you get an 80, you get an 80, and you get an 80. It's totally lovely. So let's move it all down to the coast. Guys, don't hang your swimsuits up just yet. It's absolutely beautiful. Take your boo to Malibu, 70 degrees. It's absolutely lovely. Thousand Oaks, it's 79. And let's bring it back home. As I already said, USC, we already know it's going to be absolutely lovely, 79 degrees. And in our flights, catching flights and not feelings forecast, if you're hopping along to LAX, it's 73 degrees, so perfect traveling weather. So looking ahead for the rest of the week, following the same trend, is absolutely beautiful. We have our high 70s for the rest of the week, and then we will also be moving into the early 80s. So it's going to be looking absolutely splendid for the rest of the week. So spooky season is upon us, and a marine heat wave named the Blob is making its way through the Pacific. This heat wave stretches from Hawaii to Alaska surface. Temperatures have surged 5 to 7 degrees above average. The result? Coral is dying and it's harming sea life. I asked students what they think about this spooky phenomena.
Climate change is a serious issue. We really need to figure out what to do about it.
We all have to make an effort to change our consumption habits, but I think it's hard to get people to do those things.
And if it continues to persist like this, I mean, the blob could turn into some sort of natural disaster.
This blob seems to be the sequel to a similar heat wave that happened 5 years ago. However, scientists say this one might not be as strong.
I don't know what's scarier, the heat wave or the fact that it's called the blob.
It's kind of like a horror film, if you will, you know?
It is kind of a horror film. Does the blob scare you?
Yeah, anytime I hear the word blob, I just get freaked out.
That's not for me. Well, the Los Angeles Police Department opened a homicide library in Westchester today to help investigators solve cold cases by making information more accessible.
And department computer resources where the detectives can sift through volumes of information very quickly and hopefully being able to uncover more leads, investigate these more thoroughly, and ultimately finding any connections to other cases because they can deal with a volume of information in a more effective and efficient manner.
The LAPD partnered with the FBI to create the library. It was constructed using donations from the LA Police Foundation and the Amundsen Foundation. The library houses more than 15,000 cold cases, now called murder books. This innovative space will facilitate investigative research and create new ways to solve crimes. So, Trevor, it's a bye week. USC can't lose. They can't break my heart.
It's great, right?
Looking forward to this weekend.
It's a win-win situation.
But what else is happening in USC Sports?
In addition to USC Sports, first we'll tell you about the Dodgers playoff hopes from the perspective of a long-suffering fan named Noah Camras. You might know him. Then, Keaton Slovis returned to the practice field Tuesday. We've got more info on his status and thankfully no game predictions, so I can't fall to 0-3 on the season. And in related news, Clay Helton is back on the hot seat. We'll discuss what he needs to do to keep his job. All this and more coming up. For now, we'll take a bye, just like USC football.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Roll over.
Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and her. I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to ATVN. Some might say the Trojans are in sync this week because they have a bye. And the big news out of the bye week is the return of Kedon Slovis. On Tuesday, he practiced for the first time since suffering a concussion against Utah. Granted, it was only a walkthrough, but Slovis's appearance at practice is a good sign he could play against Notre Dame in 2 weeks. Clay Helton, what's the word on his status going forward?
No, injury-wise, you want to know where everybody's at. The quarterback situation is Kedon's allowed right now to cleared to practice without contact. He's not cleared for contact yet, but it's good to get him back out here, get him throwing, and get him exerted, which is good.
If Slovis is healthy, it creates a bit of a dilemma at the quarterback position. He and the more experienced Matt Fink have posted nearly identical numbers this season. To sort it all out, here's Noah Camras.
Thanks, Trevor. The Trojans have experienced quite the quarterbacking carousel this season, starting 3 different quarterbacks in 5 games. However, if Kedon is cleared to play next week, who do the Trojans turn to? Both Fink and Slovis have shown highs and lows, interceptions being an issue for both of them. But Harold seems pretty set on who his starting quarterback is.
You know, I think if Kedon's healthy, we named him number 2 because we thought he gave us our best chance to win, at the beginning of the deal. So, like I said from the beginning, I think Kedon's a special player. But player health is obviously, you got to take care of those guys.
So if Kedon is cleared to play, it looks like he'll be the guy under center when the Trojans travel to Notre Dame for a huge rivalry game next week.
And it's a huge game for Slovis, as we know, but it's also a massive game for Clay Helton, especially coming off another loss, the really tough loss to Washington. So what does his job security look like right now, Noah?
Well, Trevor, I hate to say it, but probably not that good. The Trojans are 3-2 right now, coming off a loss at Washington that was a very winnable game. They almost had it, but a lot of mistakes led to it. The 3 big issues were turnovers, lack of discipline, and penalties.
Common themes this season.
Common themes. These are 3 things that we have seen over and over again in this Clay Helton era. Us Trojan fans have been accustomed to seeing this. And if Clay Helton cannot ride the ship quickly, it could mean an end to his era soon. But he will have a chance next week. The Trojans go at Notre Dame, a top 10 opponent on the road, a rivalry game. A win would be huge. A loss, they drop to 3-3. So what does Helton have to do to secure his job a little bit?
I think a win would be nice just in terms of ensuring that he keeps the job through the end of the season. I think a loss, if they lose like they did in 2017 on the road to Notre Dame by 30, 40 points, then he may be getting left at the tarmac. But the reason why I don't think this game is an end-all, be-all for Clay Helton is just the fact that USC still hasn't named an athletic director. And we've seen this in the past where you bring in a new athletic director and they tend to want to put their own stamp on the school, on the program. We've seen that in the Pac-12 in recent years with Oregon State. We've seen it with Arizona State, where an athletic director actually came in after the coach, but then ended up hiring a new head coach to kind of put their stamp on the program, like I said. So I don't think it's an end-all, be-all, but still a very important game for Clay Helton to make it through the season.
Yeah, and one thing that must be tough for Helton is the constant chatter of Urban Meyer.
All the time. It's endless.
That name, exactly, endless name. And Urban Meyer, he's even been announcing games at the Coliseum, working for Fox. So it must be tough for Helton to keep hearing that name, and it must be very frustrating for him.
Absolutely, and Helton's got to be frustrated, but if you take a quick scroll through Twitter, USC fans are also frustrated. But I'll tell you what, Dodgers fans like yourself are not frustrated, will not be frustrated if the team can finally get over its October woes. I know you have more about that.
Yeah, that's right, Trevor. The Dodgers are finally playing meaningful baseball again, as they've had their division locked up since basically June. They've been experimenting with different lineups and different pitchers, yet still managed to break the franchise record for most wins in a season with 106. But this year, there's a much greater sense of caution surrounding the team. They've won 7 straight National League West titles. They made back-to-back World Series appearances, but still, they're going on 31 years without a World Series title.
Wow.
So for this to be the Dodgers' year, they'll be looking for their pitching staff to really show up, specifically the top 3 starters in their rotation, Clayton Kershaw, Hyunjin Ryu, and Walker Buehler. These are 3 of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, and they'll be the key to the Dodgers making another run at the World Series. The Dodgers are set to open the National League Divisional Series tomorrow night against the Nationals.
Go to that game, right?
And I will be there. I will be in attendance. They'll hand the ball to Walker Buehler. They're hoping he can set the tone for Kershaw, Ryu, and the rest of the team to cruise into the next round. Who do you have winning that game?
Well, as much as I'd like to wish your Dodgers good luck, I've got to go with my hometown Braves. Got to stay true to Atlanta. I love the way they've been playing this year, capturing the NL East. Maybe we'll see a meeting between the Dodgers and the Braves in the NLCS. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be very exciting. Hopefully they can clash, and that'd be a clash from some potential MVP candidates, Cody Bellinger, Ronald Acuna.
Absolutely, absolutely. It'd be a great game. Maybe we could go to that one, cover it for Annenberg. It'd be a great time.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's all we have for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Trevor and Noah, and I love the shout out to the Braves. Let's just say I'm from Atlanta. Well.
And up next, how organizations on campus are helping students deal with stress.
Yep, we'll be right back.
Meet the scan. A simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
It's 2 weeks before midterms, and yes, everyone is stressed. But fear not, there are groups like the Buddhist meditation community that exist to help students understand and handle anxiety.
This can be an incredible relief for people who are constantly stressed and constantly working and constantly studying.
The Buddhist meditation community meets every Wednesday in room 202 of the USC Religious Center. A typical meeting includes 30 minutes of silent meditation and provides a safe space to talk about things that are bothering them. This isn't the only one. There are many groups around campus offering a kind and caring community. So look for one that suits you.
You know, I think it's great that we have stuff like that. And guys, my pink patch.
I love it. I love it.
You know, we could be twins.
We could be twins. We could be twins. You're supporting Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but guys, seriously, go buy your patches, your ribbons. Let's support DPS.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Kellie Miller.
And I'm Cecil Hannibal. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. And like I said, guys, go get your patches. Seriously.
Love it.
Good night.